Super Rugby Power Rankings, folks, for the penultimate round. We'll go through the 12 sides, rank them for how their current form is looking, compare that a wee bit to the actual table, and you guys can let us know your thoughts, how things are looking. The bottom side in the Power Rankings is the Waratahs, who are the bottom side on the actual table because they've had a very forgettable season. They've only managed 2 wins, albeit both over the Crusaders. They lost to Moana Pacifica, who was a team kind of in their neighbourhood in terms of wins and losses. That was the chance to get a win. They didn't get close to that one, away from home in Mount Smart. Waratahs are losing their coach after the next game. Forget about 2024. Move on to 2025 as soon as possible for the Tars, one would say. Now, one side that's very different on the power rankings from their actual spot on the table is the Rebels. The Rebels are in 11th because they're in shocking form. They've lost 5 in a row, which is the same as the Tars. They haven't won a game in bloody ages. Sure, they had a decent result against the Chiefs where they got a losing bonus point at home, but they can't get a win. They've qualified for the playoffs, so legit the best Rebels team, I think, ever, because they've never made the playoffs before, but the form they're in, they're not looking like a team that's going to threaten anybody in the top 4. So, yeah, kudos to them for getting into the 8 and, having enough points to be safe, but their form is dire, and they got hammered by the Brumbies. So, Brumbies are good, but yeah, not great for the Rebels. Moana Pacifica are in 11th on the table. I got them 10th on the power rankings, up 1 spot with that win over the Waratahs. Moana Pacifica is still a bit of a head scratcher. Like, where is their home? Is it Mount Smart? Probably not. Northland, they've been in Tonga, which was great to see, but it'd be nice to see them regularly get a home. I mean, I don't know what's financially viable. It'd be great to see them play most of their games in Samoa and Tonga if they could make those places a fortress like Fiji do with the Drua. I don't know, but yeah, they've at least got a few wins under their belt this season and seem to be at least kind of taking steps forward in some areas. They broke a 4-match losing run with that win over the Tars. And then the last of the bottom sides, I got the Drua, who are 8th on the actual table, just holding on to that playoff spot. But again, the recent form isn't that great. At home, they're fine, but they just can't win away. They went to the Highlanders, who aren't one of the top sides. Didn't even get close. Didn't even score a try. So absolutely hammered away. The Drua are a really interesting case. They got the Rebels next. Rebels in terrible form. Need a win, the Drua, to get into the playoffs, to secure their spot. It's all to play for, but we'll see how they handle the pressure. The Crusaders are out of the bottom row. They are in 8th with their win over the Blues, up 2 spots. So well done, Crusaders. You beat my Blues, took them down from the top of the table, kept their playoff hopes alive, albeit not in their own hands. They need to see what happens with the Drua game, but they'll have played their game against Moana Pacifica first. But yeah, if playoff rugby started for them this week just gone, they got the result they needed, because if they didn't win it, they were out and they were playing the top side. Good crowd, and they beat them. So, yeah, up 2 spots on the power rankings. You got to wonder if the Crusaders had Burke, Taylor, Blackadder fit all season, how might they have gone this year? The Force are just hanging on to 7th ahead of the Crusaders. Their recent form's been all right. They were on a 2-match winning run, but it couldn't extend to 3 where they got hammered by the Reds. Kind of like the Drua, they don't travel that well. So, they've had a little bit of a late season resurgence, which has kept them in the playoff race, but they got 1 game left against the Brumbies at home, which will be an interesting test of where they're at. But they will know their fate by that time because they're the last game of the final round. So if the Drua have won, they're already out. If the Drua have lost, the Crusaders have got a bonus point win, and they need the bonus point win over the Brumbies. So yeah, it'll be a fascinating one to see. The Highlanders are here in 6th, which is the same as their spot on the table, which I think is fair. If you like the Highlanders, they've had, I think, 3 out of their last 4 games have been wins. Just that Blues game, which was a bit of a blip, which was a terrible blip, but it was still a blip. You do feel like they are a tad off the pace compared to those top sides, but I wouldn't write them off. In a playoff game, if they can play their best, then one of the teams that they face, could it be the Chiefs or the Blues or the Hurricanes or the Brumbies, has a slightly off day, you could see the Highlanders punishing. Nadeki was back. He looked really sharp. And the Reds, likewise, kind of in that 5th spot. They are going to finish 5th. They'll play whoever's 4th, probably the Chiefs. They tend to give the Chiefs a bit of a hard time, but yeah, I don't know. They got some flyers in that back line who scored tries. Tim Ryan's been on a try-scoring sensational form run. Yeah, we will have to really wait and see. The Reds have certainly been one of the good news stories of the Super Rugby season, I would say. Chiefs are in 4th, which matches their Super Rugby table position as well. I think that's pretty fair. because they don't have the record the top 3 sides have, but they are better than the Reds by a fair way, so it's kind of hard to put them anywhere else. They lost to the Canes, which would have been a statement win, which would have put them up in that conversation, but not quite just there yet. But you think, like, semi-final, if they have to go to Eden Park or Canberra or Wellington, or maybe they even host if other results go their way, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the Chiefs are going to be a team that nobody really wants to play because they are still chock full of talent. My Blues have dropped 2 spots with that loss to the Crusaders. You can't be losing to a side down the bottom of the table and hope to hang on to number 1 spot on the power rankings. That's not how it works, Blues. Just pipped by the next side, to be honest. It's not much in it, but yeah, their winning run has been ended by the Crusaders. Cantabrian fans would have been smiling from ear to ear. Not only the fact they keep their season alive, but got it done over the Blues. Just as the Blues are at the top of the table, starting to think about putting that, final nail in the Crusaders' coffin. Nuh-uh. Not happening. So, yeah, Blues are there, down 2 spots. The Canes are up in the power rankings into 2nd, so they are up 2 spots. They got an impressive away win against the Chiefs. Tight game. Could have gone either way, but an away win over a top 4 side, you got to give them credit for it. So, up 2 spots are the Canes. But number 1 side goes the Brumbies. The Brumbies are in 3rd on the log. It's Blues 1, Canes 2 on equal points, and then Brumbies 3. The Brumbies haven't had the bonus points, but they've certainly got the best recent record of everyone. 5 wins in a row. They beat the Rebels, so they are up 1. It's going to be an unfortunate one for them if they end up going away to a knockout match because they lack the bonus points, but that is the way it is. They've got 1 more game up against the Force away to try and rack up some more points. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts on how the power rankings are sitting. Check out my other channel, 2 Cents on Tour, if you haven't done so already. It's something totally different from rugby. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.